All right, Math 8. So we have the first type of transformation. Now, some of you have seen some of this, okay, but some of you have not, so it's going to be new for a few of you. Okay, I'm just going to give you a basic translation kind of introduction, and then we're going to go over some stuff together after you are done watching this video, okay? So a translation, we will write down the definition again, but a translation is where you have an image, okay, moving to another image. Now, the first image, what you start with, so this triangle here, we'll label it triangle A for now, okay? This triangle is called your pre-image, and then we have triangle B, if I can grab it. We'll say it's right here, okay? And that is your image, okay? Pre-image is just what you start with. Your image is what you went to, okay? So we went from A to B. This is a translation. What that means is it's sliding on the graph. So if you ever see kind of like an arrow on the graph like this, that means you just slid down there, okay? If it was a rotation, you would see kind of a loopy, curly arrow and stuff like that. But this is a translation. It is going from A to B, okay? Triangle A to triangle B, okay? That is where the translation is. Now, this translation, it could slide directly to the right, just a couple spots. It could go just down, it could go just up, it could go left one, and that's it. In this case, you can see it went down and it went right. Now, it's important to know what the pre-image is, in this case, A. So we're going from A to B. The reason this is important is because you need to know which direction it went. It went down and it went right. If you thought B is where you start, well, you went up and left in that case, okay? One thing you always need to know about translations, if I just kind of get rid of all of the stuff I drew here, okay, a translation, clearly it does not change the shape of our image, but if I were to take this triangle and bring it back over to my image, you notice it's exactly the same size, okay? A translation does not change the size of an image. We talked about that briefly when we talked about how a dilation is the only one that actually changes the size, okay? Now, if I were to describe to you, if I were to tell you, hey, describe to me how you got from triangle A to B, okay, well, all you would want to do is look at a point, okay? Most of the time, it will be labeled A, B, not necessarily A, but let's say this one's A, B, and C. It's a terrible B, okay? And then this one is going to be labeled A prime, B prime, and C prime, okay? Now it could be any points. It could be an M, an L, an N, a T, an S, whatever it is. In this case, just A, B, and C, okay? Now, if it's not labeled A to A prime, and it's labeled like A to D or something like that, it will be labeled at the top. So in this case, we would say that we have triangle ABC, okay? And this one should be obvious what it's going to because they're labeled with the primes. If it's not labeled by primes, you'll be given kind of like a key at the top telling you what it was going to. So the key would look something like this. In this case, where you have ABC, and then you have A prime, B prime, and C prime, okay? So then from here, I'm asking you what happened. It translated, well, where did it go, okay? So you need to name that. Now, you could say it translated, but we know it's a translation. You could say it slid, but really, if all you're doing is telling me that it moved a certain direction, you're telling me that it's a translation. So it'd be fancier, so to speak, to do that, but you don't necessarily need to do that, okay? So in this case, we pick any point at all. I'm going to pick C just because it's kind of out in the open for both of them. So if I look at C, I'm clearly going down, so I'm going to write down. And we label it by units that it went down. So it went down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me count again just in case I have bad mouse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spots. So it went down 6 units. So we say down 6 units. And then we say how far it went right or left. So after it went down 6, it went right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it went right. That was a complete accident with the 6 and the 6, but it went right 6 units as well. Now, it does not matter which one you say first. You could have said write 6 units, okay, because maybe you want to put the X first, like you'll see when we get to level 3. But when you're describing it like this, it does not matter what you say. You could have said write 6 units and then down 6 units, whatever it may be. Okay, now, the last thing, you don't need to check all of the points. If you were doing the transformation, like I gave you this triangle, and I said, hey, do this, then yeah, you have to do each point. But since we checked one point, the other points would be exactly the same. If I looked at A and I went down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you notice you're in the same spot. Okay, it went down 6, right 6. Same with B, down 6, right 6. Okay, it's in the same exact spot. Okay, that is a translation. That's it for this one. Okay, next up would be a reflection, which you will get to as soon as we're done going over this together. I will see you then.